So what does the dogma of the Assumption of Mary tell us? Well, first, very simply, it says that Mary is perfectly redeemed, period. As such, she is the representative for us of perfect redemption. If perfect redemption is to happen to us, we see an image of that happening in her. By faith, Mary received salvation into her body. And the dogma says that she has received this salvation entire. Redemption has suffused her entire being. It has taken its fullest effect, gone to the fullest extent in her. This means that Mary, right now, is already where perfect redemption is, in that region of being which came to be through Christ's resurrection. As the ideal representative for complete redemption, Mary must be even now in perfect communion with God. This perfect communion means that even now she is glorified in soul and body. Thus we can say, Mary lives in heaven in her glorified body, in the bodily community of the redeemed, which Christ instituted through his resurrection. Who she was on earth has been fully assumed into heaven by he who is. Now, this dogma has meaning for all of us. It is not an abstraction. It signifies that the forces of the world to come have already seized hold of this world. The world is veritably in transition to God's eternity, and not just in the body of the Son who came from above, but also in the body of those who are from below, and this includes the saints. The subjection of earthly reality to heaven, of the unglorified to the glorified, of the corrupt to the incorrupt, this has already begun, and in some cases it is already complete. We can name at least one person for whom the resurrected body is presently, even now, her body. That person is Mary. And with this dogma, we profess our belief in the here and now reality of complete redemption. The difference here between Catholics and Protestants is that the Protestant views this whole issue as only a promise. Paul's "we will be raised a spiritual body," Paul's "raised in glory," seems to lie beyond all creaturely reality from the Protestant perspective. It exists only in a still unreal future. For the Catholic, however, the dogma of the Assumption simply sheds light on a state of salvation that is already in existence. The dogma helps us believe in what we hope for, and it also helps us meditate on the present reality of the saints in heaven, signified in the Church through Mary. We attribute full and complete salvation to her, because thanks to her faith and to God's work in her, salvation was born unto her and has had its most perfect effect in her. As holy creature, Mary was at the center of the Incarnation. She was there at the beginning of Jesus' preaching in the Gospel of John, and she was there at the center of Pentecost when the Church first receives the Holy Spirit. It therefore only makes sense that she would assume a central place in the complete heavenly bodily redemption which is vouchsafed for all who believe.
Ave Regina Caelorum, Ave Domina Angelorum, Salve radix, salve porta, ex qua mundo lux est orta. Gaude Virgo gloriosa, super omnes speciosa. Valle o valde de cora, et pro nobis Christum exora.